Breaking news from Dasmariñas, Cavite. Police have made a grim discovery inside a residential home. A septic tank was found to contain the remains of a woman, buried in secret.
For months, there was only silence. No calls, no check-ins, no "I'm home soon." Then, messages began to appear. Birthday wishes. "I'm okay, don't worry," notes. A few posts that suggested she'd moved abroad. Found work, started over. The kind of updates that keep a family afloat when the alternative is unbearable. But Maria Evelyn Sayos had been dead the entire time. Her account kept talking. Her daughter kept explaining. The neighbors kept believing. And all the while, the truth was setting like concrete under the family kitchen. This isn't a story about a woman who ran away. It's about how a life can be performed so convincingly online that reality stops getting a vote until reality breaks through the floor. Stay with me, because the Singapore story wasn't Evelyn's plan. It was a script. And the first actor to doubt his lines was her son. Dasmariñas, Cavite. Industrial hum, family rhythm. This is where Maria Evelyn Sayos built her life. A single mother who did what single mothers do: everything. She kept a small home steady through loss, bills, and birthdays. There was an earlier marriage, and from it, a daughter, Joanna. But that relationship ended, leaving Evelyn to start over on her own. In time, she found a second chance at family with a man we'll call Eduardo, name changed for privacy. And together, they had a son, John Levy. Not a perfect life, but a present one. School days, Sunday meals, little wins that added up to "we're okay." Then 2011, Eduardo died. The chair at the table is empty, and Evelyn becomes two people at once, mom and dad. She works days, holds evenings for her kids, and keeps weekends for memory making. Photos from those years don't scream drama. They whisper consistency, which is why what happens next hits like a drop through ice. Joanna is a typical online native teenager. Music, selfies, a feed that says life is happening. Then she meets Ronald James Ruby. At first, Evelyn doesn't panic. Call it puppy love. But the tone changes when Joanna and Ronald show up with news that detonates futures. She's pregnant, and they want to live together under Evelyn's roof. Evelyn cries. Of course she does. Not because she stops loving her daughter, but because she starts counting. Rent, food, school, diapers. Ronald is unemployed. Reality has bills. But duty doesn't blink. Evelyn does the thing that becomes the hinge of this entire story. She says yes. Joanna pauses college. Ronald moves in. The house gets tighter, louder, and for a while, happier. A healthy baby boy is born. Even John Levy remembers Ronald being respectful in those early months. For a brief chapter, the plot looks salvageable. 5 people, 1 income, 0 margin. Pressure creeps in quietly. A bill here, a late payment there, whispers from neighbors that force Joanna onto Facebook to defend her choices. Online, she posts gratitude. Off-screen, strain multiplies. Evelyn convinces Joanna to return to college. An act of love and faith in a future that now requires tuition, supplies, and babysitting all at once. The posts keep thanking Evelyn. For a birthday phone, for a remembered anniversary. The Facebook feed is warm. The living room is crowded. And under the weight of finances, favors, and fatigue, something meaner starts forming in the seams. John tells his mom he's staying overnight at a classmate's place for thesis work. Evelyn presses fare into his hand. She's tired, but she's Evelyn. She remembers the little things. He leaves her in a house with his sister and the boyfriend. It's the last time he ever sees his mother alive. John comes home to absence. No note, no call. He asks Joanna, and the story appears instantly, cleanly, like it's been sitting on the counter. Mom was picked up by old high school friends. There was a van, a couple suitcases. She's gone to Singapore. Work, fresh start, don't worry. It lands wrong in John Levy's chest. Evelyn isn't the ghost out the door type. She's the text me when you arrive type. School still needs money. The baby still needs formula. The story asks him to ignore who his mother is. But she's an adult. Adults can leave. And sometimes, loving someone means giving their choices the benefit of the doubt, even when your gut is screaming. Then, the 11th of October, 2016, a message from Evelyn's account. Belated happy birthday. Sorry I didn't say goodbye. Busy in Singapore. Don't worry about me. It's exactly what a son needs to hear to make the ache quiet down. And that's the problem. It's too perfect. The texts don't build a life. They manage a suspicion. They don't arrive like a mother missing her kids. They drop in like a patch on a leak. John does what hurting sons do. He rationalizes. Maybe she's really chasing her own happiness after decades of choosing theirs. Maybe the tuberculosis diagnosis before she left made her want treatment away from home. But grief and logic don't share a language. The bad feeling doesn't leave. Here's the detail that changes the shape of this case. Those messages weren't a broadcast to everyone. They were targeted, especially at John Levy. A sister with access can be a mother long enough to calm the only person asking the loudest questions. And it works, for a while. More than 2 years after Evelyn supposedly climbed into that van, John Levy does something simple and devastating. He checks the story. He tracks down the classmates who allegedly picked her up. He messages. He calls. All three say the same thing. They did go to Singapore. Evelyn did not. He goes to his sister with the confirmation and asks for help finding their mother. Joanna's answer is chilling in its ease. Let's just leave Mom alone. She's probably happy wherever she is. John Levy stops waiting for someone else to care. In June 2018, he files a missing person report in Dasmariñas, lays out the van with friends story he now knows is false, and runs into the oldest wall in the book: limited resources and a profile that looks like voluntary disappearance. Active Facebook account, missing passport. On paper, it's the right to start over. But John Levy knows the woman behind that paper. Evelyn doesn't vanish from birthdays. She doesn't ignore emergencies. She doesn't stop being a mother because a feed says she moved. So he keeps pushing, alone, in the quiet house that used to be 5 and is now 1. And here's the twist you won't see on a case file. The investigation didn't break open with a clever database hit. It broke open because houses talk, and this one was about to scream. Nearly 4 years since the Singapore story. The world is in lockdown, but John Levy is building forward. He saved enough from the call center to fix the one room that felt most like his mother, the kitchen. New tiles, a proper ceiling, a space that would be ready if she walked back in. Walls come down, measurements go up, workers start trenching around the septic line to expand the footprint. And then the house answers a question the police file didn't. They turn up plastic sleeves mixed in rubble, an ID and a passport, all with one face: Maria Evelyn Sayos. If Evelyn left, she didn't take her identity with her. John Levy's stomach drops. The crew also reports something else: a solid mass of concrete beneath the kitchen they can't break through with hand tools. The next morning, John Levy calls the Dasmariñas police again. This time, there's something you can put in an evidence bag. Officers arrive, cameras roll, sledgehammers swing. In less than an hour, they breach the slab and the lie. Beneath the concrete, in the septic cavity, are human remains. Skeletal, decomposed, but unmistakable. The officers say the right words. We'll confirm by DNA. But everyone on that floor knows whose story just ended here. Weeks later, the confirmation arrives. The body is Evelyn, within 48 hours of the discovery. Police arrest Joanna Marie Sayos and Ronald James Ruby, the former live-in partners. Charges follow: murder and parricide. Investigators retrace 4 years of updates and alibis. The public posts that read like devotion, the DMs that quieted John Levy, they were part of a maintenance schedule, not a life. A targeted performance to delay the one person pushing for answers. Behind the show, the reality was ugly and old. A house cramped by bills, a mother whose standards didn't bend, a boyfriend out of work, resentments hardening into intent. According to investigative findings and sworn statements, this wasn't spontaneous. It needed 2 things the house rarely had: privacy and time. John Levy is away overnight for thesis work. The plan clicks. Evelyn is told they'll eat out. She steps toward the door. Ronald is waiting, out of sight, with a hammer. The blow is catastrophic, but not immediately fatal. According to statements, Ronald tells Joanna to get a knife. She does. What happens next will haunt seasoned detectives. The mother who held the house together is stabbed by the daughter she sheltered until she stops breathing. 2 hours pass. Joanna shuts herself in a room upstairs. Ronald is on the ground floor, alone with a body and a deadline. John Levy is coming home. No car, no remote dumping site, no time. There's a hardware store nearby and gravity under the kitchen. At midday, deliveries arrive: cement, sand, and gravel. Ronald mixes and pours. The body goes into the septic chamber. The cavity is sealed with concrete. When John Levy returns that evening, the house looks unchanged because the change is under it. But decomposition doesn't respect alibis. The smell pushes back. So, according to witness accounts and purchase records, more cement is bought. When John Levy asks why Ronald keeps sealing and resealing the area, he gets the neatest answer of all. Before she left, Mom asked me to fix the septic tank. John Levy believes him. Why wouldn't he? You don't build a world where your mother is under the floor. You take the story that lets you sleep. Meanwhile, online, the performance continues. Not a constant stream, but strategic pings. A belated birthday here, a busy in Singapore there. Just enough to manage the one person most likely to escalate, John Levy. For nearly 4 years, the illusion holds. Not because it's brilliant, but because it's plausible enough when you're desperate to believe. Brought in by police, each points to the other. Joanna frames Ronald as the mastermind, says he talked for months about silencing Evelyn's criticism, that he handled the killing, that fear kept her quiet. Ronald's account pushes Joanna closer to the act. Investigators don't buy a story with only one villain. The scene, the cement trail, the digital activity, neighbors who saw Ronald repeatedly working that slab. Together they read like a project plan. Not a panic. This wasn't a snap. It was premeditation. Then maintenance. The image that stuns the country isn't just a body under concrete. It's a timeline. Mother's Day posts, birthday messages, selfies about gratitude, laid over the exact months Evelyn was under the floor. John Levy, the son who wouldn't let the story be enough, asks the question every viewer is asking too. Why do this to the woman who made your life possible? There isn't an answer that returns a heart. The case throws harsh light on modern fault lines. Digital masks are easy to wear. A login can impersonate love long enough to dull suspicion. Manipulators weaponize tension. Pressure found a partner in persuasion and turned into a plan. Instinct matters. When behavior breaks character, check the story, even if you want it to be true. As for legal proceedings, public updates are scarce. A common reality in the Philippine system for serious cases like murder and parricide. The weight of evidence suggests continued detention while the wheels turn. Justice moves, it doesn't always post. Evil doesn't always look like a stranger in the dark. Sometimes it looks like family. For years, Evelyn's life was covered by silence and carefully written lies. But lies crack, just like floors, just like masks, and the truth always finds its way out. Evelyn Sayos gave everything a mother could give, and in the end, the house she built revealed the secret they tried to bury. This was the story of Evelyn Sayos. Thank you for watching, and if you want more true crime documentaries like this one, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.